nearing 1 year since we learned federal agents raided the homes of Albuquerque police officers, part of an FBI investigation into a public corruption scheme involving officers accused of taking money to get DWI cases dismissed. It's a case our KRQE Investigates team has been following since the beginning. Tonight, Gabrielle Burkhardt shows you a new piece of information revealing a detailed account of how officers appeared to rope accused drunk drivers into the scheme.
A newly uncovered document titled Possible Corruption Involving an Albuquerque Police Department Officer and an Attorney's Office in Albuquerque, revealing details of what was passed along to the feds back in April of 2022.
The day they came in, I let the FBI know. And I didn't contact APD because they obviously have a conflict.
That was Albuquerque attorney Damon Eli last year, explaining how two separate people who didn't know each other came to him with similar stories, allegations of a corruption scheme involving APD officers. Eli says he passed along the info to the FBI, but wouldn't go into details during our interview.
I have to be careful about what I'm saying in terms of, because there hasn't even been an indictment yet.
That's still true. No one has been criminally charged, but in combing through public records attached to a lawsuit filed in district court, KRQE Investigates learned more about that tip Eli gave the feds nearly 3 years ago. It shows the person who told Eli about it was arrested for DWI by APD in April 2022. The unnamed tipster notes an APD officer, Montano, pulled him aside, calling him, quote, lucky an officer found mushrooms on him, and he would not get charged for them. The tip states Montano then told the person to expect a call after he got out, and the suspect's driver's license was confiscated by police.
And I was really proud of these people coming forward because I think it takes real courage to do it.
The tipster says a paralegal named Rick Mendez did call, inviting him to attorney Tom Clear's office, a place we'd later learn was raided by federal agents in January 2024 as part of a corruption investigation. It was in that office the person claims Mendez had his confiscated driver's license and said he'd return it for a price, $10,000, in exchange for charges against him dropped. He says Mendez even offered a payment plan, $5,000 up front with monthly payments of $1,000. The tip states Clear was in and out of the room while Mendez had this conversation, going on to say Clear showed the mushrooms he was caught with to, quote, demonstrate he could still be charged. It's a similar MO to the story KRQE Investigates reported on last year when a man named Carlos Smith came forward.
I knew something wasn't right.
Smith told KRQE Investigates he too was called by APD officer Joshua Montano after a DWI arrest.
I knew from that moment I needed to document everything, and I did.
A voicemail to Smith from Officer Montano reveals the apparent collateral in his case, Smith's bracelet he was told he could retrieve at Attorney Clear's office.
Hey, Carlos, this is Officer Montano with APD. I was just giving you a call because I don't know if you realize, but I'm sure you do that. Some of your jewelry was missing from your property from Sunday evening, and it looks like the PTC officers didn't put that in your property bag, but I have it.
Smith also hit record during an interaction he says he had with Mendez at Clear's office, where he too claims he was offered a guarantee for a price.
Not the cheapest.
Okay.
So we charged $8,500 when you could do it in payments.
And with me, you representing me, that would guarantee that this doesn't go on my record?
Yes.
Smith and the ACLU are now suing APD for civil rights violations, along with 9 now former officers, including Joshua Montano, the City of Albuquerque Chief Harold Medina, Attorney Clear, and his paralegal Mendez.
They are taking people's belongings and forcing them to have interactions with private attorneys in order to facilitate obtaining money for the scheme. And so it all comes down to, this is essentially a mob-like practice that's being perpetrated by our officers.
Smith's case, along with roughly 200 other DWI cases, were later dismissed by the Bernalillo County District Attorney's Office due to officer credibility issues. Today, nearly 1 year since news broke of a federal investigation, Smith, the ACLU, and the community are waiting on word from the feds about its findings, waiting for closure and accountability.
This is damaging to our legal system as a whole, and without that type of accountability, there's not going to be any trust or faith that people truly get due process in our state.
Gabrielle Burkhart, KRQE Investigates.
To date, no one has been criminally charged. At least 8 officers, including Montano, have resigned or retired rather than be interviewed by Internal Affairs. One APD commander was fired by APD and another officer remains on leave.